Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist and today we're going to be doing a Master Duel Winged Dragon of Ra deck profile. So I'm really excited to do this for you guys because the Winged Dragon of Ra just got an amazing alternative artwork on Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, and this deck can OTK your opponent extremely easy with the power of the God cards. So without further ado, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards. Like your name, description, every single video, getting a signed cards in the mail, and even getting to request a deck profile every single month to your Patreon. So without further ado, let's get straight on into this. So first off, we're going to be playing 3 copies of the Winged Dragon of Ra. This card is a definite 3-of in the deck and is an amazing boss monster that has the ability it cannot be special summoned and requires 3 tributes to normal summon out this card, and it cannot be normal set. This card's normal summon cannot be negated, and when normal summoned, other cards and effects cannot be activated. And when this card is normal summoned, you can pay life points so you only have 100 left, and this card gains attack and defense equal to the amount of life points that you pay. You can also pay 1,000 life points and then target one monster on the field and destroy that target, which is an amazing ability to be able to pop monsters on the field, and usually this card is coming out with 7,900 attack points, which is absolutely insane. We then play 3 copies of the Winged Dragon of Ra Sphere Mode. This card is a definite 3-of in the build and is an amazing card to be able to break your opponent's board because this card cannot be normal summoned or set. This card has the ability that requires 3 tributes from either side of the field to normal summon out this card to that side of the field, which is a really cool ability that you can basically just tribute 3 of your opponent's monsters and give this card to them, because it also has a really cool ability that then you shift control of this card back to the owner during the end phase of the next turn, meaning we get back this card so we can turn it into the Winged Dragon of Ra, which is absolutely amazing because you can tribute this card and then special summon the Winged Dragon of Ra from your hand or deck, ignoring its summoning conditions, and if you do, its attack and defense become 4,000. We then play a single copy of the Winged Dragon of Ra Immortal Phoenix. This card is a really good 1-of in the deck to be able to turn your copy of the Winged Dragon of Ra into this form so that you can go in for game. We then play 3 copies of Guardian Slime. Guardian Slime is an amazing 3-of in this build because it's super easy to summon to your side of the field, and it turns itself into your copy of Egyptian God Slime so that we can use it as 3 tributes to summon out the Winged Dragon of Ra. But this card has a really cool ability that if you take battle or effect damage, you can special summon this card from your hand. And during damage calculation, if this card battles an opponent's monster, quick effect, you can make this card gain defense equal to that opponent's monster's attack during damage calculation only, which is a great ability just to have this card in defense position to protect your life points. And if this card is sent from the hand or field to the graveyard, you can add a spell or trap from your deck to your hand that specifically lists the Winged Dragon of Ra in its text, which is a great ability to add cards like Ancient Chant from your deck to your hand. We then play 3 copies of Ra's Disciple. Ra's Disciple is a definite 3-of in the build because this card is a really cool ability that when this card is summoned, you can special summon up to 2 more copies of this card from your hand or deck, giving you 3 monsters on your side of the field so you can summon out the Winged Dragon of Ra. We then play 3 copies of Reactor Slime. Reactor Slime is really good as a 3-of in the deck because this card generates you 2 tokens on your side of the field during your main phase so that you can use those cards to summon out the Winged Dragon of Ra. This card also helps you get to your copy of Metal Reflect Slime because during the battle phase, quick effect, you can tribute this card and then set 1 copy of Metal Reflect Slime from your hand, deck, or graveyard, and it can be activated this turn, which is a really cool effect. We then play 3 copies of Tellus the Little Angel. This card is definitely a 3-of in the build because this card gives you so many tokens and also gives you a copy of Alamirage because it has the ability, if this card is sent from the monster zone to the graveyard, then you can special summon 1 Tellus Wing token to your side of the field, which is a great ability because you can normal summon this card out to your side of the field and then immediately link it away for a copy of Salamangreat Alamirage, which is great to be able to do, so that you get the token and you get a copy of Alamirage. And it also has the ability, while you control a copy of the Tellus Wing token on your side of the field that this card generated, then you can banish this card from your graveyard and 1 spell from your hand to special summon out 2 more Tellus Wing tokens to your side of the field so that you can basically go in for the Winged Dragon of Ra while also keeping your copy of Salamangreat Alamirage. The only downside to this card is you cannot special summon for the rest of the turn except from your hand, which is totally fine because we're just going to summon out the Winged Dragon of Ra and that's going to be it. We then play 3 copies of Max C. Max C is insane that this card is still at 3 in Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, and it's just a definite 3 of in the build, basically to just draw a card every time your opponent special summons. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to start with a single copy of Monster Reborn. Monster Reborn is a definite one-of in the deck to basically just bring back the Winged Dragon of Ra and combine it with your copy of Millennium Revelation. We then play a single copy of Harpy's Feather Duster. Harpy's Feather Duster is great as a one-of in the build to basically just deal with your opponent's back row so you can go in for game. We then play 2 copies of Called by the Grave. Called by the Grave is really good as a 2-of in the deck just to deal with your opponent's hand traps that they might drop against us while we're trying to go in for game. We then play a single copy of Blaze Cannon. Blaze Cannon is an insane one-of in the deck that actually gives Ra a bunch of bonus effects, truly turning the Winged Dragon of Ra into a god card. This card has the ability that it gives Ra 3 awesome abilities, that this card is unaffected by your opponent's card effects, and when an attack is declared involving this card, you can tribute any number of other monsters that did not declare an attack this turn, and this card gains attack equal to the tributed monster's combined original attack until the end of this turn. And after damage calculation, if this card attacked, then you can send all monsters that your opponent controls to the graveyard, which is a really insane ability about this card, that it can board wipe, gain more attack points, and basically be unaffected by everything, which is just crazy powerful. We then play a single copy of Millennium Revelation. This card is really good as a one-of in the deck to be able to use with your copy of Monster Reborn, so you can bring back your copy of the Winged Dragon of Ra. We then play 3 copies of Ancient Chant. Ancient Chant is a definite 3-of in the deck, and this card is just absolutely insane because it lets you add the Winged Dragon of Ra from your deck or graveyard to your hand, essentially being the Rhoda for the deck. And if you do, you can tribute summon 1 monster during your main phase this turn in addition to your normal summoner set, which is a really cool ability so you can tribute out the Winged Dragon of Ra. You can also banish this card from your graveyard, and if you tribute summon the Winged Dragon of Ra this turn, its original attack and defense becomes the combined original attack and defense of the monsters tributed for its summon, which is great because it's going to get Ra even bigger so that you can go in for game. We then play 3 copies of the True Sun God. The True Sun God is an amazing 3-of in the build because this card helps out so much, because when this card is activated, you get to add the Winged Dragon of Ra or 1 card that mentions it from your deck to your hand, except another copy of this card, meaning you can add cards like Ancient Chant directly from your deck to your hand off this card's ability. It also has a really cool effect that monsters except the Winged Dragon of Ra cannot attack the turn they are special summoned. And once per turn, during your main phase, you can send this card from the field or the Winged Dragon of Ra Immortal Phoenix from your deck to the graveyard, then send the Winged Dragon of Ra from your monster zone to the graveyard so you can turn the Winged Dragon of Ra into Immortal Phoenix mode, which is crazy. We then play 3 copies of Soul Crossing. Soul Crossing is really an amazing 3-of in the deck because this card lets you tribute your opponent's monsters to summon out the Winged Dragon of Ra. We then play 3 copies of Lightning Storm. Lightning Storm is really good as a 3-of in the deck to deal with your opponent's monsters or their back row so we can go in for game. And it's insane that this card is at 3 in Master Duel. So that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get into the traps. So for the traps, we're going to start with just a single copy of Metal Reflect Slime. Metal Reflect Slime is the only trap you really need in this deck because this card turns itself into, it's a trap monster that turns itself into an Aqua type, water, level 10, 0 attack, and 3000 defense. So we can basically turn this card into a copy of Egyptian God Slime by just tributing it on our side of the field, which is absolutely amazing, so that we can summon out the Winged Dragon of Ra. This card is really good because it works with your copy of Reactor Slime, so you really only need a single copy in this build. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, guys, we're going to start with 3 copies of Egyptian God Slime. This card is an amazing 3-of that's super easy to summon to your side of the field, and you don't even have to use polymerization to make this card. It must first either be fusion summoned or special summoned from your extra deck by tributing a level 10 Aqua monster with 0 attack, meaning you can tribute your copy of Guardian Slime or Metal Reflect Slime to summon out this card. And this card can be treated as 1 to 3 tributes for a tribute summon of a monster, meaning you can just tribute out using this card to summon out your copy of the Winged Dragon of Ra. We then play a single copy of Gustav Max. This card is really good to do a little bit of burn damage to your opponent, which is why we play this card as a 1-of in the build. We then play a single copy of Juggernaut Lieb. This card is really good to be able to turn your copy of Gustav Max into this card so you can OTK your opponent. We then play a single copy of number 35, Ravenous Tarantula. This card is really insane because it has the ability that all monsters you control gain attack and defense equal to the difference between your life points and your opponent's life points. And if we summon out the Winged Dragon of Ra first, we're going to pay 7,900. So that's going to usually be the difference between ours and our opponent's life points by the time we summon this card out to the field, making this card come out absolutely huge and boost up our other monsters. We then play a single copy of number 77, The Seven Sins. This card is really good to be able to overlay on top of your copy of number 35, which is just amazing in this deck. We then play a single copy of Double A Zeus. Double A Zeus is just amazing as a board wipe in the deck. We then play a single copy of Access Code. Access Code is really good as a 1-up because you can easily make this card in the build, and plus it gets absolutely massive when it touches the field, and it can pop multiple cards on the field. We then play a single copy of Nightmare Unicorn to spin stuff, 1 copy of Phoenix to pop spells and traps, 1 copy of IP Masquerena so we can make our copy of Unicorn during the opponent's turn, 1 copy of Cross Sheep because we do summon out fusion monsters in the form of our copy of Egyptian God Slime, so this card comes in very handy. And then finally, 2 copies of Salamangreat Alamirage. The reason I play double Alamirage in the deck is because of Tellus the Little Angel. You can play 1 if there's something else that you want to play in the extra deck, but I really like the 2 copies of Salamangreat Alamirage. So that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you enjoyed. This deck is super fun to be able to play. If you guys have never played the Winged Dragon of Ra before, you should definitely give this deck a try because it's super fun, especially since they just released a pack that basically has the majority of these cards in it, which is just super cool to be able to do. And I absolutely love playing the Winged Dragon of Ra on Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. So that's going to do it for this one, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification, come part of notification squad, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.